let's just come to the back body, or you can stay seated, your choice, whichever you'd prefer this morning. Either seated or laying down. Just begin our practice with a little morning meditation. And I'm going to use a bolster underneath my head. Don't forget to ask Santa for some at-home yoga props, everybody. Bolsters and blocks and straps and all those good things are really nice to have on hand. You can use them for so many things. They work great for forts too. You have a 2-year-old into building forts, so just food for thought. Anyway, so come to the back body and just get in whatever comfortable position feels good for you this morning. So maybe it's just extending the back body out, extending the spine out, letting the shoulders drop down and melt. You could, a couple options how you could keep the legs this morning. You could maybe walk the feet apart to the edges of the mat. Just kind of experiment with this posture. You could just keep the feet just grounded on the mat. Just feel that nice sticky mat right underneath you. You could open up the knees and just bring the soles of the feet together. It's a nice way to approach class sometimes, or you can just extend the legs out. So completely up to you, wherever you'd like to be this morning. But just get comfortable, whatever posture seems to be calling to you. Excuse me. And I'm going to place my palms just up on top of the belly, the heart and belly area, and just begin to really notice the feeling of the breath, how it lifts up the belly when you breathe in. Nice full breath in, and then slowly let that breath go through the nose. Just keep the lips sealed. Again, just nice full big breath. Just really focus on feeling that breath come into the belly. The low belly, just feel that chest rise, and then exhale, let it go. And if you decided to stay in a seated position, you can do the exact same thing. Just notice the feeling of the air moving into the belly. And begin to notice anything that we might be holding on to, any tension going on in the body, any tension in the mind. Just envision the breath moving there. And as you exhale, just envision whatever that is softening. So anything physical, any tension, any tightness, let's say in the body, just move with me there. Just envision that breath moving in, moving into that muscle space, whatever it might be, and then exhale, just envisioning it softening and melting into your mat. Just really let go. And let's do the same thing, just whatever you have on the mind, wherever the mind is moving to, just envision that breath wrapping around wherever the mind is. And exhale, just soften those thoughts. Just let it go. And just allow yourself to be here now. Move into the present space. You okay, Petey? Just a couple of breaths on your own. Just move that breath wherever it needs to be. Soften, just let it go. And then begin to move through the body, extend the legs out if you have them not already extended out. And excuse me, take a nice big full body stretch together. big full body stretch. Oh, roll the ankles a little bit, roll the wrists. Just make it feel nice and good. Bend the knees back. Place the soles of the feet back on the earth. And then pull the knees in towards the chest. Nice big hug. Rock back and forth. Little rock back and forth. And just kind of massage that low back out a little bit. And then I'm going to take my bolster. This is an option, but if you have a bolster, highly recommend it. It's a nice soft twist to begin practice. I'm going to bring that bolster right in between my knees. So still make sure you're nice and comfortable underneath the head. You could always use a blanket underneath the head if you'd like to, or you could put a blanket between the knees or whatever cushion you have. Nice to put it in between the knees just to try this out. I'm going to let both knees just soften, excuse me, Petey, over towards the right. Knees are going to soften towards the right. Just kind of begin gazing towards the right. Look over towards that right hand. Just begin to slowly let everything melt into the mat, just unwinding that spine. And then begin to take the gaze up towards the sky. Let the left shoulder get nice and heavy into the earth. And if it feels okay, take the gaze out over towards the left. Just take 3 nice big breaths right here. Envision the breath moving down the spinal column. Just wringing everything out, letting it go. Roll the wrists, make some fists. And then just relax. One more full breath right here. And on an inhalation, let's bring the knees up through center. Bring the knees up through center. Just take a moment and bring the feet down to the earth and lengthen out through the spine again. Just sort of reset the hips. Have the hips in a nice neutral position. And then same thing. We are going to gently let the knees fall over towards the left. Knees are going to fall towards the left. Let the gaze come towards the left to begin with. You can roll the wrists a few times, spread out the fingers. Let the gaze move towards the sky. Envision that right shoulder getting nice and heavy into the mat. And then maybe bring the gaze out over all the way towards the right. And just breathe. Just envision that breath moving all the way down the spine. And as you exhale, just wringing any tension out, anything that no longer serves us, just let it go. One more nice big breath here. Let it go. And then inhale, bring the knees back up through center. Bring the knees back up through center and just kind of rock it back and forth a little bit. Lengthen out through that spine. I'm going to let my bolster go. Put that off to the side. Maybe use it later. And bring the knees in towards the chest again. Just kind of roll it out a few times. Roll those circles on the low back. Lift the feet up towards the sky. Just roll some gentle circles with the ankles. Spread your toes out. See if you can extend the pinky toe away from the rest of the toes. Just play with that. Spread the toes. Roll the ankles. Flex the feet. Just play with those feet a little bit. And when you're ready, drop the feet down and towards the hands and just take a happy baby pose. Nice happy baby pose. Let the shoulders get heavy in your happy baby pose. Lengthen through the back of the neck.
Oh, yeah.
Just let yourself get nice and comfy. Hey, cat, will you mute your line for me? Go ahead. Jump up and do that real quick. Oh, perfect. All right. So from your happy baby pose, just begin to either rock over to the side, and we're going to rock up to a seated position. Oh, or go ahead and rock and roll your way on up. And I'm going to bring my bolster back underneath the bum. Totally optional, but I like to sit up on a little something. Either a blanket or a bolster or anything. Just come into that nice, loose, seated position. Okay, bud. And just begin just right here. Just close the eyes. Kind of see how you arrive in your seat. Just breathe. Couple nice breaths. And then go ahead and drop your right ear over towards the right shoulder. Just let that left shoulder get nice and heavy. Bring the head on up, over towards the opposite side. Let the right shoulder get nice and heavy. Kind of drop it down and lengthen. Don't worry, we're going to give these guys a little bit more love. So go ahead and lift it back up. Lift it back up. And let's roll the neck a few times. So just some little half moon rolls. Take it all the way around. All the way around. Other direction. Okay, bring it back up. Let's drop the right ear down again. I'm going to take my hand and bring it up here. Just give a little extra energy. And then I'm going to bring that hand back on the left hand and kind of walk it back a little bit. Walk it back behind me. So my shoulder is pulling back, really getting a little extra stretch right through that section. And lift it back up. Make sure it feels okay. Don't go too far with this. Sometimes I find myself getting a little sore from this posture. So just be gentle. Go ahead, drop it over to the opposite side. Hand on the head if it feels okay. Give that extra little stretch. And then I'm going to take the hand, the right hand, walk it behind me, pull that right shoulder back. Really get an additional nice little stretch there. Feels pretty good. Bring it on up. Bring it on up. Let's go back to those little half moon rolls again. Roll it out. Go as slow as you need to go on this. A friend one time come to class and tell me he felt very dizzy after my class for my head rolling. So just go with what feels good to you. And then just kind of lift up the head. And let's open up the arms out to a T. Open them on up. And I'm going to take the right arm and I'm going to cross it up on top of the left. Those eagle arms, and really pull the shoulder blades apart. Focus on pulling those shoulder blades apart. So this should feel like a nice little release for the shoulders. And then I'm going to move some nice big circles here. Really nice big circles. Change that direction of the circle. Let's go ahead and undo that. Just open up the arms, big wings, change the stack So left arm's gonna come up on top. Notice the feeling in the shoulders. Kind of give it a second. Maybe focus on kind of moving those shoulders forward a little bit. Yeah, very nice, you guys. And then just big circles. Big circles. Find that this is really helpful. I just spend a little too much time sometimes on a device, and this kind of breaks up that screen time a little bit. Go ahead and open it up. Bring the hands down and just drop the head back. Just go ahead and drop the head back and gaze up towards the sky. Gaze up towards the sky. And then gently lift the gaze back to a neutral position. Take the hands, and I'm going to bring the fingers in towards my body. So fingers are going to be facing in towards the body. Slowly bring the hands all the way down. So it kind of looks like this behind me. And then just give a nice gentle push. Roll those shoulders back. Pull the shoulder blades together. And if it feels okay, let the head go back. Little bit of a back bend here. Feel those shoulders really open up. Heart really open up. Then kind of pull the belly in. Gently restack the body. Pull those hands up. Shake it out a little bit. Roll the hands out, some fists. And then just make your way up into table. The bolster out of the way. Let's make our way into table and just begin to make some cat cows. Lift that gaze, lift the tailbone. Exhale, round it out. Few times, lift. Exhale, round it out. Move with your own breath or at your own pace. If you find a sweet little spot that you want to hold for a moment, go ahead and do that. Maybe shake out the head a little bit if that feels good. You can move the hips in some circles if that feels good here. Just go where the spine is saying to go. Just listen to the body. See what feels nice for you this morning. Shake it on out. Open up those palms nice and wide. Tuck the toes. Gently lift the knees up. Make your way back into a downward facing dog. And if you'd rather stay on the knees this morning, that's okay. Just stay on your knees and walk your table out. So either tread one knee at a time, kind of walking your dog out, shake the head out here, shake it all out, or stay on the knees and walk your dog out. Just take a few breaths wherever you're at. Shake that head, shake it all out. Return the knees down to the earth. Untuck the toes, kind of walk the knees apart a little bit. Go ahead, make another cycle of cat-cow. Lift the tailbone, lift the gaze, breathe in. Nice big round. Kind of tuck the tailbone there. And then from that round, sink yourself back into your child's pose. Gently, gently sink it back. You can open up the knees nice and wide. Bring the head down onto the earth. Let's just take about 5 cycles of breath right here. Just let yourself melt into the earth. You can have the hands either forward or by the sides of the body. Just let yourself completely be. And when you're ready, bring those hands back forward. You can keep the forehead down. Just walk the hands forward. Take your fingertips, just kind of walk on that mat. Walk those fingers forward. Get an additional stretch through the shoulders here. And then bring the elbows down once again. And really feel an extra opening through the upper back body here. And then gently make your way back up into table. So back up into table. Back up into table. And then we're going to go ahead, just take one hand, just bring it all the way out to the side. So take your right hand, bring it all the way out to the side. Keep your left hand underneath you. And then just gently sink on back again into a child's pose variation. So feel a little additional stretch coming through the shoulder here. Really use the fingers to cling on. Go ahead and take it back up. Walk the hand forward. Let's do the opposite side. Sink on back. Sink on back. Little different spot where we're getting the stretch through. Bring it back on up. And then plant the hands. I'm going to sink back so the hips are going to come down onto the earth. Little gecko fingers underneath of us. And let's just begin with our serpent pose. So just move those shoulders one at a time. A lot of shoulder stuff this morning. Just seemed to be a good shoulder kind of day. Serpent pose. Work those babies out. And then go ahead and just bring the hands right out in front of us, elbows directly underneath the shoulders, maybe even out just a little in front of the shoulders. Open up the hands nice and wide. The legs can either be apart if that feels better on the low back, or you can seal them up and bring them together, your choice. Just see what feels okay. And just go ahead and roll the shoulders back. Try to not have any tension in the shoulders. So notice if it does get a little tight. Then just send the breath there and just relax. You can bring the gaze just right out in front of the fingertips. Nice breath here. Let's go ahead, take the gaze out over towards the right. Just pause here for a moment. Take it forward, all the way out over towards the left. Back forward. Okay, go ahead and stretch those hands all the way out, all the way out. Oh, kind of walk it forward even a little bit if that feels good. Nice big stretch. Breathe in. Let it go. Then slide the hands back. And let's push our way back into table once again. Back into table. And from table, let's tuck the toes. Make our way to a downward facing dog. Walk that dog out again. Oh, maybe tread one at a time. Like nice big bend into the right knee. Just let the hips fall over towards the right. Should feel a nice stretch through that left hand side. And then same thing, big bend into the left knee. Let the hips fall over towards the left. Big stretch. Walk it out a little bit, and then eventually just walk it all the way to the front of the mat. Arrive at forward fold. Let the head go. Grasp on to opposite elbows. Just let it all go. Lengthen through the spine. You can put a little bend into the knee if that feels good. Rock it out. Rock it out. Release the elbows. Nice bend into the knees. Rise all the way up. All the way up. Breathe, gaze up to the hands, and exhale. Hands to heart center. Just pause here for a moment. Just pause and close the eyes. You can keep the hands at heart center if that feels good. You can open up the hands. Feel a nice lift coming through the soles of the feet. And just breathe. Just breathe. Envision a string just lifting the crown of the head. Feel the breath moving through the body. Just feel grounded and centered here. Again, notice where the mind is, and if the mind is beginning to wander, just send the breath there and let it go. And be here now. Let's go ahead and do a little flowing. So lift the palms, lift the gaze, breathe in. Exhale, forward fold, forward fold. Palms to the shins, lengthen through the back body. Exhale, fold it out again. Little bend into the knees. Flat back, rise all the way up. Breathe. Hands to heart center. Let's do that once again, just completely at your own pace. Just a nice big breath in. Exhale, fold it out. Inhale, hands to the shins, lengthen through the back of the legs. Exhale, fold it out. Breathe in, rise all the way up. And then exhale. Hands to heart center. Let's add on a little bit, shall we? Lift. Exhale. Breathe in. Exhale. Little bend into the knees. I'm going to keep my right foot forward and step back with the left leg. So right foot's going to stay forward. Take a moment just in this high lunge. Square off through the hips. Begin to bend into that left knee. Untuck the toe. You can always flip your mat if you'd like to and have the mat underneath the knee. Move my mat a little bit. I've gotten very used to that. So nice low lunge here. Just take a moment, squaring off through the hips, preparing for this posture. And let's lift up with the hands. If it feels okay, you can always keep the hands down if that feels better. But lift up with the hands. Just take a nice big breath here. We're going to bring the hands back to heart center. And then take a little bit of a twist, kind of hook that elbow onto the outside of the right knee. Take a little twist over to the right if it feels okay. Woo. And then go ahead and unwind yourself. Lift the hands back up to the sky. Take a nice big breath. Bring them down to the earth. Sink back. Lift up with those right toes. Lengthen through the back body. So gaze out forward. Rather than gazing down at the knee, let's gaze forward, just past the toes. And just take a little tilt forward here. See if you can really feel a nice amount of length coming through that right leg. And then go ahead and take the gaze and gently bring it down towards the knee. Maybe even tuck the chin for a moment. Go really gently here because it might make the stretch a little bigger than you'd planned. Take the gaze back up. Let's sink back down into that knee. Go ahead and sink back down. Tuck through the left toes. Lift up with the left knee. Go ahead and step all the way forward. Back into your forward fold. And just rock it out a little bit. Rock it out. Release the hands, nice bend into the knees, rise all the way up. All the way up, breathe. Hands come to heart center. Lift the palms, lift the gaze, bring the gaze up. Just interlace the fingers, but extend out that index finger. Take a nice tilt over towards the right. Little tilt to the right. Nice, you guys. Lift it back up. Over towards the left. Back up. Release. Let's take a forward fold. Fold it out. Palms to the shins. Exhale, fold. Nice little bend into the knees. Step back this time with the right foot. Left leg's going to stay forward. Left leg's going to stay forward. Square off through the hips. You can take that nice flip onto the mat if you'd like to. And bring the knee down. Go ahead and bring that right knee down. Nice. Sink down into this low lunge. Ankle and knee are in line. And we lift. Squared off. Let's lift through the hands if it feels okay. Take a nice big breath here. Exhale. Bring the hands to heart center. And see if we can hook that right elbow. Take a little bit of a twist here. Feels good. Go ahead and unwind it. Bring the hands. We brought them up for a moment and then bring them down. Just nice and graceful. Sink on back. Lengthen. Gaze just out over those left toes. Take a little bit of a tilt. Feel that length coming through the back of the leg. And then gently bring the gaze down. Gently bring the gaze down. Really lengthen. Go ahead and bring it back up. Sink on back down into that knee. Tuck through the toe. Lift up through the knee. Go ahead and step back into your downward facing dog. Shake it on out. Shake it on out. Shake the head. If you want to come down to the knees for a moment, you can. Whatever feels good. Otherwise, we're going to move directly into our pigeon pose. So your choice here, if you'd rather go into a reclined pigeon or this classic pigeon. Classic pigeon, I'm going to go ahead and lift the right leg. Bring that right knee forward towards the right wrist. Square off the hips. Just going to crawl my foot a little bit forward. Some people can bring their foot all the way forward to the hand. God bless you if that's your case, but keep your hips squared no matter where you're at, and just let your foot go where it feels like it wants to go. And then bring yourself on down. So you should feel a nice opening through the hips here. And if this just isn't your jam, if it doesn't feel right to you, that is completely okay. You can take this from the back body. Cross the right foot over the top of the left thigh. Reach through and grasp on this way. So, hi, Macy. So your option, whatever works for you here. Whatever feels right for you. Woo. Rejoin in that classical pigeon. So take a few breaths wherever you're at. Had joined on the opposite side accidentally here. Let's see. There we go. And then to get out of this, we're going to begin by tucking through those left toes, lifting up with the left knee. Push the hands into the earth. Get a nice additional stretch maybe there. And send that right foot up. Stack it, open the hip, bring it on down, shake it out. Lift up with the opposite foot. Or if you're on the back body, just change sides. Bring that knee forward towards the wrist. Let that foot crawl forward a little bit. Square off through the hips, nice and square. And exhale, bring it on down. Let the head go. Let yourself completely be. Just breathe. Couple breaths. And then tuck through that back toe. Lift up with the knee. Push the hands into the earth. You can take a couple extra moments here if it feels really good. Otherwise, just begin to make your way out of your pigeon pose. Maybe stack the leg. Now, if you're on the back body, bring the knees down and just kind of windshield wiper those knees out a little bit. And if you're in the classical pigeon and coming out from it, just kind of maybe make your way into a table pose for a moment and just wiggle those hips out a little bit. Just shake that low back out a little bit. Sure it feels good. And then gently make your way onto the back body. So let's all make our way there. If you're not there already. You guys are really enjoying the class this morning, huh? So making your way onto the back body. Just get nice and comfortable. Choose any posture that feels good. So maybe just rocking back and forth a little bit on the low back, massaging it out. The legs up. Happy baby pose. Just see what feels good for your body this morning. Maybe a plow pose or a shoulder stand. Anything at all. You could be coming all the way into Savasana right now if that feels nice to you. Just see what feels good to your body, what it's asking for this morning. I'm going to bring the soles of my feet together for a few moments. Just take some breaths right here. Yogi's choice. Always fun. And then once you feel complete wherever you're at, once you finish whatever posture that is that you have decided to take this morning, go ahead and gently make your way into your Savasana. So extending one leg at a time, making your way on out. Open up the palms towards the sky. Just get nice and comfortable. You can use a blanket or a bolster, anything at all that feels good. And just breathe. Just let the breath return back to its normal state. Let the tongue fall away from the roof of the mouth. Just let yourself completely be. Your Savasana. I'm going to lead everybody in Savasana this morning. I hope everybody has a beautiful day, a beautiful weekend, and stay safe and happy and healthy. Just remember to be mindful, remember to breathe, come back to the breath at any time. Just be here now. Namaste.
Thank you, Shannon. Beautiful class.
Thank you. Good to see you guys. Always wonderful. Have a wonderful day. I'll see you guys soon. Thanks, Pat. All right. Take care. Bye, you guys.